Régis, first, an update on who's available. You'd hope to have Lefay, Bukele, Ballard, possibly Roofs available for the weekend?
We'll have a late assessment for them. We know already that Jocelyn, Nielsen, Bertrand and Romain will be sidelining and ruled out for this game. For the others, we'll have a late assessment because they are working hard behind the scenes to get ready for this fixture, so they're really important for us. But it might be a pure medical decision, and we won't take unnecessary risk because we still have 7 games after this one and international break to manage the last part of the rehab if necessary.
I make the assumption they all want to play on Sunday, do they?
Yes, 100%.
You mentioned Reinildo last week as well as being available.
It will be.
Yeah.
Will be.
Talking to fans, I think just about every fan I've spoken to, there's a great deal of apprehension about the game of the weekend, especially in the light of the Newcastle result in Barcelona and expecting a backlash from that. How is the mood with you? How do you regard that result and how it might affect the game?
Their game? I don't know, because we are just focusing on us and the way we want to approach this game. With proactivity, with togetherness, with intensity, like we did last week, I think, against Leeds, for example, or Bournemouth away. 2 intense teams, and we had the blueprint for this fixture. Will be different, obviously, because it's going to be a derby with a different background, different history, different expectations. But I think we want to be us, first of all.
You mentioned the blueprint there. Do you see this game very much like the Leeds game with Newcastle play a high press, they're at home? Do you regard the way you played at Ellen Road as very much a model for the way you played the weekend?
Yes, about we were brave. We pressed high. We were really intense collectively, and mostly we deactivated their ability to build up the play. It was tough for us as well because the Leeds pressed high as well, and we didn't have a good control this game. But we learned from it, and I think it was the first game for Melker, for example. Granit didn't start. They are really important in the build-up, so we might improve this part, I think. So it's we have to be proactive. We want to show our qualities. We want to be intense with our way of playing, and after that it will be a question of key moments. We'll have to manage the momentum because those games are always really intense. Might be a basketball game sometimes. Do we want to do that or not? It's up to us to decide sometimes.
We spoke after the FA Cup, and it was a question of, did the players really understand how important the FA Cup was? But you've already played a derby. The players know exactly what this fixture means for everybody.
Yeah, I think so, and they are looking forward to it, really, because we want to play those games with big expectations. It's a big opportunity. It's a big event, for sure. And the players are excited, and they want to do it together.
Thank you.
Régis, on Dan Ballard, what actually was his injury?
It was discomfort in the hamstring zone, so we'll see.
Of the 4 players that you spoke about with Nick, I mean, is there a chance that all 4 could play? Is there hope?
At the minute, I would say yes, but we'll see tomorrow.
and I guess, I mean, if you were to get even sort of 2 or 3 of them available, it just gives you a boost because you've got more players to choose from. It gives their teammates a boost as well.
Yeah, we are now in a difficult cycle. It's not usual in the league, especially for a newly promoted side. We had the AFCON, the festive period, and I think the delay after this one is more or less now, with 6, 7, 8 injuries, 5 starters. So it influences the level, the confidence in the squad. And it might affect a bit the result because this league is so competitive. When the level drops just a bit, the games are so tight, margins are so thin, that you can get punished and be a bit more vulnerable in those periods, which is not usual. So we have to manage it because it's the normal journey of a newly promoted side, I think, in the league.
There seems to be a bit of a suggestion or a narrative around this because you achieved the 40 points so early and you did it so well that is job done now? Maybe the players have maybe just dropped the levels a little bit. What would you say to that?
No, I don't think at all. If I feel the mood in the dressing room after Brighton, you will say that there's no complacency in the dressing room. They want to win, and they are not happy. We are not happy when we lose. I repeat, this league is relentless. When your level drops just a bit, you become a bit more vulnerable. And I think the game against Brighton is a good example. We played a good team without injuries, and finally it was a key moment on set pieces that decided the game. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks ago, and with a more well-rounded team, this game might win at home. Now it's not the case, but it doesn't mean that the team doesn't want to win. It's not the case at all.
Did you watch Newcastle in the new camp on Wednesday night, and what did you make of that second half? Is that giving you real hope that you can get at it, given what Barcelona did?
I think it was a different competition, and they will have a different game. The Champions League is a tough competition, the highest in Europe. So now back to the Premier League, back to the derby, will be a totally different mindset. So tactically, technically, the availability of their players still useful to watch and to understand what they did. But we expect a different game.
I've got a couple of questions to ask for the Premier League in their absence today. What does the derby match mean to you? Everything that you experienced back in December and what you've learned from it, what does it mean to you?
We know that in this region the derby means a lot, and we like it, and we embrace the challenge. It was the case for the first game at home, I think. With a young squad, with no experience in the Premier League, except for Bertrand and Granit, they did well. They played the game expected with intensity, togetherness, proactivity, and it was tight. But we won this game, so we want to do it again in a different context. Now it will be away from home. I don't know if it's more difficult or no. We'll see. But we want to play at 100% this game.
I think I remember that game as well. I don't know if you did the full team talk. I think maybe you got Luke to do a little bit of the team talk, and Brock as well. Who will be doing the team talk this time around?
Probably Granit, I would say. He's really experienced. He knows this kind of context. He helps in obviously in this kind of situation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Régis, Eddie Howe has said after the Barcelona game that his players need to approach this game like their lives depend on it. Is that the similar sort of message you're going to be giving to your players, or not?
Yeah, about the involvement, the willingness to win, the desire. I think the symbol is interesting, but there's always a risk to block the players if you push too much. It's about playing the game with not the freedom, but you want to win, you want a big desire, you want a big togetherness, but it's emotion and control. If it's too much emotion, you can use your mind. If something goes wrong, and it's often the case in football, because you can have the plan, but the unpredictability is so high that you have to manage different events, and if your brain is overloaded, it might be difficult. So for me, we want to be underdog, we want to be intense, but with control, and we'll see how it goes.
So you sort of play the game and not the occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would it mean to you if you managed to beat Newcastle twice this season?
We'll see. We'll see. It's a bit early to anticipate the reaction after a win. So for us, our main focus is this one. We want to prepare this game properly. We had the team meeting this morning. We'll train twice and to get ready for the event.
Do you feel like there's a different excitement in the squad?
Yeah, I think so. They want to play the game, and there's always something a bit different in the derby, I think, especially away in this case.
Thank you.
Régis, you've got sorry, I'm just here.
Yeah.
You've got some players in the squad who know what it's like to be on both sides of a win or a loss in the derby, like Luke O'Nien, Dan Ballard. How important are they in setting standards going into this game?
I think the first leg was important to set the tone, I would say, because you always need to experience a situation before understanding really the context, the emotion associated, and so on. So this game was really positive. Now, going away from home will be different. The atmosphere won't be fueled by our fans, because even if we will have our fans, the majority of the stadium, the crowd, will be filled by their fans. So we'll have to manage this part, and it's going to be a really exciting experience.
And you've said about playing the game and not the occasion. How difficult is it, to insulate the players from all that noise?
As usual, I would say, like in the playoffs last season, the final in Wembley, the most important is to stay connected with the game. And so we have our foundations, our game model, our game plan, to manage the expected, and then you will have to manage the unexpected. So you need like a margin in your brain to be ready and to be aware of different situations. And if you overload your brain with too many things, emotions and so on, you can't have this part, and it's hard to manage the unexpected, and it will be important.
Thanks, Régis.
Régis, do you enjoy the pressure that these games bring as a head coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it drives everything, because you want to improve every single detail to help the players, but you don't want to overload them. So it's a really interesting period, and I think we enjoyed this kind of moment. Yeah.
And you mentioned that this game could be like a basketball game at times end to end, whereas the game at the Stadium of Light earlier in the season was quite intense. It was quite narrow. So do you expect this game to be a lot more open?
It could be. I think we'll have periods like that. I think it's still interesting to have the intention to manage the momentum when it's on, when it's possible, and we have players to do that. They are connected with the dynamic of the game. They understand when it's time to go forward, when it's time to accelerate, when it's time to slow it down. And going away from home in this kind of event, I think it's important to have this ability. So we'll try to work like that.